Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode, where we are taking on the Coca-Cola 600 Crown Jewel number 2 of the season. Kyle Larson off of Heartbreak last episode in Darlington, looking for a rebound after dominance. Justin Allgaier, one of the part-time drivers in the field today, joined by Elio Castroneves, who's driving for the 21 car for Wood Brothers Racing. We had some big developments coming into this weekend from practice here. We're going to talk about some things. NASCAR has unveiled a new 2-mile D-shaped oval track that will be based in Denver called Denver Speedway, that will be coming onto the calendar next season. This track will be actually replacing Auto Club Speedway, which will be removed from the calendar going forward, and the track is very similar though to that Auto Club Speedway. A proper grand opening and tire test is scheduled later for this season, so we will see the track in action before next season, but the reveal was made and it's very exciting going forward to see this new track coming to the schedule as well. We had some conversations with Dale Earnhardt Jr. this weekend, specifically regarding contract situations. Here, as you can see, practice going on, and as we go towards qualifying, I will get a bit of a snippet here of the conversation that we had with Dale Jr. as he continues to try and convince us to join Junior Motorsports for the next season as we continue to contract hunt. Let's hear a little bit of the conversation as we kick off our qualifying lap.
I can offer you a 3-year deal right now. On top of that, I can tell you we will have a strengthened alliance with Hendrick next year too.
I want to be in the Indy 500 and JGR will not allow that. Can you get me into that?
I promise you I can, and I will get you what you need.
I also want to venture off into the ownership route with maybe an Xfinity team. What are your thoughts?
We can discuss that more. Let's talk again soon.
Our conversation with Dale Jr. expands about going to his team next season now as we cross the line. A 29.808 here in qualifying, 17th position for the Coke 600. Last episode we saw a major improvement in pace from Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota in general. Will that carry over into today? Well, last episode winner Chase Briscoe starts on pole alongside Chastain, Larson, Elliott, Reddick, your top 5. Logano in P7 looking for a good run in what will be his final Coca-Cola 600. We know he is retiring at the end of the season. No trucks, no Xfinity action this weekend. They are completely off, so we're going to head straight into the race Sunday afternoon for the Coke 600.
The second crown jewel of the year takes place right here in Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600. You won this race back in 2011 in dramatic fashion, Kevin.
At the expense of Dale Jr., he ran out of fuel out of the last corner, and we stole the win. Certainly an unforgettable moment.
Right, boys, great race, great history around this racetrack. We've already won a crown jewel with the 500. Let's try to do it again tonight.
We'll stay on top of things all race. Long night ahead, be patient and smart.
Ready to roll from this crown jewel, one of the most prestigious races in motorsports. Our teammate Chandler Smith to the back after crashing in qualifying. Our future at JGR remains uncertain. We have not been given a contract offer yet, but that's not our focus. It's the Coke 600. We're racing from 17th place. Briscoe Chastain lead the field to green. It's a long race here now. It's going to be a grueling one. Chastain actually new colors on his number 1. It's a Busch Light, just actually more of a neon blue, a very bright blue looking livery made by Paj Designs. Again, immediately on the back straightaway, aggressive early on, 3 wide down this back straightaway up the inside of maybe a future teammate we know as well. Brad Keselowski been trying to recruit us to his team. We have at least one more conversation planned with him in the next episode actually, so that's going into Martinsville in the next episode, so that'll be interesting to see where things go with that, because Dale Jr. is putting an offer on the table. I want to be in the Indy 500. I want to as well expand into the ownership route with the Xfinity series, and he seems to be willing to give both of those things, which is very promising for me. But as well, we still know that Joe Gibbs Racing is very much a potential candidate to remain our future team going forward, but Brad Keselowski as well has an offer to make in the next episode. Chase Briscoe started first, lap 3 down to P11. That 98 is dropping quickly now. The Darlington winner not looking so hot, but RFK really has been a hot team this season. 3 of their 4 drivers have visited victory lane. Keselowski at Bristol, Justin Haley went into Phoenix Raceway, picked up the win there as we're passing Rajah Caruth in the Microsoft 48, and then last episode in Darlington, Briscoe picks up the win win. Chris Buescher, really the one that I expected to win before anybody on that team, is the one that has not won yet. But they have a realistic chance to put all 4 cars in their first season as a 4-car team into the playoffs. Buescher, though, on the bubble area with the playoff situation right now. Blaney has gotten past me, and here comes the 99 Wendy's Honda Civic. Kyle Busch for Trackhouse Racing around my outside. He would breeze around me, and he would as well get up to the back of the 12 Menards Ford Mustang of Blaney, who's been continuously in the rumor mill in recent weeks. Although he won at Road America and he's locked into the playoffs with Penske Racing, he has been in the rumor mill to potentially be leaving the team, which could really have a lot of effects with Penske, because we also know Joey Logano will be departing the team because he's completely departing the Cup Series, retiring from full-time Cup Series competition at the conclusion of this season. So there was developments here occurring with Penske Racing, and they need to be on top of things because they could be losing 2 star drivers and be left with Todd Gilliland, who's only really shown up for 1 week this season so far, as Kyle Larson is out in front, picking up where he left off in Darlington. Although he didn't win, he was the dominant factor until he blew a tire late in the race, overcorrected hard into the outside wall, looking for a strong rebound weekend now, as him and I are separated by just 1 point in the regular season championship battle. It's really coming down between myself and Larson for sure, as we know we have a few less races in the regular season this season due to that Final Four getting 2 extra races, as you saw some contact there as we continue to battle with Blaney for the top 10, but he is able to pass Chastain. So the front row, Briscoe, Chastain in qualifying, well, the best running one after 16 laps is in 1 car, and he's down to P10. But look at that beautiful livery on that car now, as already we come to lap 19. And green flag pit stops kicking off as we nearly run into the back of the one who I had completely no clue was coming into the pits. I never heard the call out from my spotter, and that was near disaster early on. We continue on though, and we are going to be pitting at the conclusion of this lap. Elliott and Bell out in front now. Bell is going to stay on the racetrack as Elliott pits in that Coca-Cola Chevrolet. 1 win on the season for him. We join him in the pits now, and we'll be taking 4 tires. The only adjustment here on this first pit stop in this Domino's Toyota Camry is we're going up by about 10% on the grill table. Exit here, 15.3 seconds in the box behind the 9 of Chase Elliott. We get back rolling now. There goes Joey Logano. Logano looking strong. He was actually running in 2nd place when the green flag cycle kicked off, and a driver that's really struggled this season, struggled in recent seasons here. It's looking good for him so far today, but it's very early in the longest race of the season outside of the Southern 500. That doesn't happen until all the way at the end of the season in the Final Four. I cannot wait for the playoffs this season with that Final Four round and how that's going to work out. Of course, the other change is actually Christopher Bell pitting later than anybody, loses a bunch of time as we're looking for a pass on Shane Van Gisbergen. But it's going to be a really interesting playoff. But the one change as well on top of the Final Four round is that anybody can now make the playoffs that's full time. It used to be just top 30 in points. Now it's anybody that's full time can make it. So Austin Hill, the Talladega winner, he's not in the top 30 in points currently. Richard Childress Racing, under the new leadership from Kevin Harvick and Austin Dillon, they're still struggling. They said they were going to struggle, and they expect to be better about the halfway point of the season. Things should start turning around. I do believe in that process. I think they know what they're doing over there with Harvick and Austin Dillon. So it's going to be interesting to see, maybe in another 4 or 5 races to see how that team's getting on as we now push the 20 of Bell, passing Tyler Reddick and up into P8. Some of these drivers on a bit older tires now than us by only a few laps, but a few laps makes a difference, especially when it comes to 1.5 mile racing now. But it's been green from start to finish so far. Lap 28 of this race. Blaney P7, Bell P6, certainly showing that he's got a force behind the wheel of that 20 now. And again, Joe Gibbs Racing looking pretty good. We got 3 of these cars in the top 10. Ty Gibbs just a little bit further up the road in 4th. But the caution is out in this for Keselowski. Keselowski, smoke pouring out of the back of that number 6, and the caution flies, bringing everybody except for, it appears to be, Elliott, Christopher Bell, and a few others. Basically all the cars that pitted really late are going to stay on the racetrack. So Larson, who's dominated stage 1, is going to be down to P7 as we get ready to go back racing again here from Charlotte now. Our first restart of the day. 3 laps to go in stage number 1. More Toyotas up here. Reddick just behind. Bubba Wallace not far behind him as well in that 2311 Toyota Camry now as well, side by side with Kyle Busch as we exit turn turn 2, right on the back of the Series XM54 now. Everyone kind of staying tidy, in line, letting things develop here now as we're coming to 2 to go, and I think Elliott and Bell maybe made the right call to stay out if they're racing for the stage win. Elliott up the track, Bell to the inside, looking at his quarter panel. 2 laps to go in stage number 1. 4 stages in the Coke 600, so we have plenty of opportunity for stage points, stage wins, etc. But Elliott holds on to the lead over Bell with 2 to go as we continue to be stacked up by some of these slower cars to the outside of Logano. Sanchez stomps on the brake pedals there, the Andretti rookie now. We got nowhere to go. Logano on my inside as we go into turn 3. Larson's just getting through now, and you can see Jesse Love in the 33 slowing us up as well. We drop outside of the top 10. Elliott leads with Bell to his inside, starting the final lap of stage number 1, and my goodness, down to P11 we go. Bell to the lead, Noah Gregson for Junior Motorsports into the top 10. A very hit or miss season for JRM, which is not surprising. It's the first season for that team, but some races are great, some races are really slow, like Darlington, that both cars were terrible, but a big move to the inside. There's the number 34 of Eric Jones, slow in front of Bubba Wallace, and we slide through into P8. Bell leads out of 4. Larson got up to 3rd, but after dominating the stage, it's not going to be enough. Christopher Bell wins stage number 1. It's going to be P8 for myself, and our Toyota and Joe Gibbs racing team continues to show some strength after that emergency meeting leading into Darlington, and improvements coming in, and just some behind the scenes changes. It's looking like immediately it's paying off. The guys that did not pit are all going to pit now for 4 tires and feel. Everybody that did just pit on that last caution will stay out, so a bit of a different strategy, which could make things interesting. You can see some big names trapped a lap down right now, including pole winner Chase Briscoe. Alex Bowman was a part of that conversation right there as well. So we gained 2 spots, and so does just about everybody here. Larson back to the lead over Ryan Blaney, looking strong. Logano as well in P3. Chastain, Bush, myself. Green flag back out, stage 2 of 4. It's always a blast driving this racetrack. Charlotte Motor Speedway, of course, is going to as well be the championship finale race at the season's end. As you guys know, we go to Charlotte 3 times this season. If you're wondering, maybe if you're a bit new to the series and you don't know what the schedule looks like, just go to the off-season video before the Daytona 500. We go over the calendar there and talk about all the changes with the playoffs, and as well, don't forget we have the bracket tournament coming up here in a few episodes as well. So the mid-season tournament that NASCAR is hosting in real life next season, this will be the 3rd edition that we do in the career mode, and that will be coming up in the next few episodes. So that will be exciting, a little 5-race tournament before we push to the final push for the playoffs as well. So I love that idea where we get that focus in on a tournament to kind of get invested into, and then we have that final push to focus in on the race to the playoffs now as we continue side by side now with the 54 of Gibbs, who took us 3 wide with Gregson. He goes through into the 6th position now as we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway. But I was mentioning Charlotte 3 times on the schedule, of course. 2 oval, 1 is still the Charlotte Roval, the road course. Very excited to be there in the playoffs as well. The playoffs have had a huge shakeup this season. Auto Club as well, I believe, is in the playoffs, and it will be the last time we visit that Auto Club track. How about Joey Logano to the lead on the exit of turn 2 down the spank straightaway? The Pennzoil Ford Mustang in front over Kyle Larson on lap 5 of stage number 2. We got a car slow in front of everybody. Who is that? I believe it's the Andretti machine of Connor Zilish. It is. We slipped through into 3rd. Larson and several others just got screwed. No caution. We stay green. What a disaster that was now, but the caution flies there. And now, what in the world was that, NASCAR? Kyle Larson actually decides he's going to come into the pits. Nobody else. I can confirm there's nothing wrong with the 5. He's just deciding he's going to pit. Here's a look. Look at this. This was a whole lap ago. Zilish crashes. Huge impact, actually. Head on into the outside wall for the Andretti rookie. And then he just rode around, and NASCAR never threw a caution on strict cautions. And that turns into a mess and promotes us into 3rd. What a mess. We'll get back going. Larson goes way back to the last car on the lead lap here as we're racing again. So suddenly the 5 taken out of the equation, at least for now, and maybe all of stage 2. Really don't know why they pit. Maybe a potential issue with, maybe they thought there was a loose wheel, tire going down, something like that. But nonetheless, they go off strategy, off cycle from everybody else. We drop back hard on the exit of turn 2. Really should not have connected to the back bumper of Logano. And as we came out of turn 2 a lap later, we actually get back ahead of Ty Gibbs, who came alongside me. So into P4, pushing the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Kyle Busch having a much needed strong run. He has had a bit of a rough stretch here recently after the 2 back-to-back wins early on in the season back in Homestead, Miami, in Iowa as well. As we look to the inside of that Wendy's 99 as we exit turn 2, we'll get the run down the back straightaway on Busch. Will clear him into turn 3, and as well Gibbs would clear him as we move into that 3rd spot. Blaney kind of showing the nose now on Logano, not putting too much pressure on his teammate, who's not in a must-win scenario to be in the playoffs, of course, by any means, but he's certainly outside of the playoffs right now as Gibbs gets to my inside, and he would hang to my inside and clear me on the exit of turn number 2. So Ty Gibbs up into 3rd place, and I mean, my goodness, Ty Gibbs, the defending champion, of course, as we actually see some pit stops kicking off here. Logano, my goodness, he really slowed up Blaney, who was not trying to pit. Blaney just got screwed. Logano pits now. Gibbs is going to pit a lap later, and we're going to follow him 1 lap after that, but Ty Gibbs, defending champion, who's been in the bubble situation so far this season now. He is literally the reason we've gotten the structure changed to the playoffs because of how he won in that 1 race Final Four format, and now here he is trying to say, hey, I am going to defend my Cup Series championship, but he's not doing a very good job at it so far. But in his defense, Joe Gibbs Racing as a whole and Toyota with this new Camry have struggled just as a whole. So it's certainly not a Ty Gibbs issue, but it seems like he's running better, and everybody just about is running better as we look to re-enter the racetrack now. A little bit over 10 laps to go in stage number 2. Elliott not yet pitting, neither is Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell either, as those guys have been quite strong all night long so far. Kyle Busch will get past me, and look at this mess we're coming up on. Some different pit strategies around, and there's Elio Castroneves in the 21 for Wood Brothers. Actually, he is quite a bit off the pace now. Justin Allgaier struggling for pace in the JRM7. A big shot to the back bumper there into turn 3. Our teammate of Chandler Smith, I believe he's completely off cycle, looking to pit as well as we exit turn 4. We make a bit of contact. Caution is out, and it's Keselowski for the 2nd time. Tire failure on the 6th, and that is really going to make things interesting because 6 cars on the lead lap, and some were already in the pits, trapping 7th on back, a lap down. Larson, Jones, Briscoe, Elliott, Bell, and Love will remain on their lead lap. Sanchez will get the free pass. Logano on back, including myself, now have to race for the free pass. We have fast cars trapped a lap down. Logano, Gibbs, myself, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, pretty well the big 5 names that definitely have cars capable of running top 10, top 5, and now we've just gotten screwed. Now the 3 fastest cars maybe, Bell, Larson, Elliott, they're on the lead lap. Chase Briscoe as well on the lead lap there. Chandler Smith just in front of us in P10 as we get going down this back stretch. I would eventually get down to the inside and start making passes. It's Elliott, Larson, Bell, your 1st through 3rd running order now with less than 10 to go, but we're racing for the free pass. We want it sooner rather than later. Right now, it's Logano. Look at these slower cars. RFK is having a miserable night, but Briscoe's the highlight of it, and he's only here because of the fact that he got a fortunately timed caution being off cycle, as now Logano is in that free pass position in 8th, but Ty Gibbs to his inside would pass him. Logano a little bit slow right now, and we're going to get past him as well, and now it's just myself and Gibbs and Busch that are going to race for the free pass. It's a 3-car runaway up front. Larson out in front over now Bell and Elliott as we exit turn 4. A few laps to go in stage 2. We're going to be halfway through this race now. Who's going to get the free pass? Coming to 2 laps to go, looking to the inside of the 54. Gibbs is a teammate, but we're not going to make it easy on him. We want this free pass, and I know if he doesn't get it here, and I do, he's probably going to get it next anyways now as we race side by side off into turn 1. Bell back to the lead, your stage 1 winner after Larson dominated the opening stage, and crash in the back. It's Caruth, blows the tire into the outside wall he goes, and we had Gibbs by half a car length. Bell wins stage 2. He sweeps the first couple of stages, and we get the free pass. We will absolutely take that. We raced hard, and we go to the back of the field, of course, at the end of the longest line, but we'll pit for 4 tires and feel, and so will everybody. No one's going to stay out and try to maybe get the wave around and hope for a caution. So only 8 cars are on the lead lap because of that poor timed caution. Rajah Caruth remains in the race. He has had a pretty miserable first full-time season of his Cup Series career for Hendrick Motorsports. Of course, a big up-and-coming driver in the Hendrick program, in the Truck Series in real life, and we brought that into the reality here with the, of course, career mode in NASCAR Heat 5, and it has not been pretty. Now, Caruth showed some speed in Darlington for the first time this season, probably had the best run, just about maybe the second best run of his rookie season. So Caruth is starting to show signs of improvement, but what he can't improve on, because nobody can, of course, change the fact that tires are blowing on his car. So as we continue going forward, though, having to work our way through all these cars, Cole Custer in that 52 tow car Ford Mustang, slick livery on his car this weekend, specifically for the Charlotte Coke 600, made by Sanok. Actually whipped that livery up and sent it to me a few days ago. But look at RFK. Keselowski's brought out 2 cautions. Haley, he's not in the top 25, as well as the, of course, 98 of Chase Briscoe. We already talked about him. He was not running very quick, but he's in the top 10 just because of that fortunately timed caution. And Chris Buescher's not running so hot either. As we continue to navigate our way through traffic, Christopher Bell again out in front, but now we're making passes for positions because we got slow cars in the top 10 that were just in the right place at the right time. Jesse Love, Nick Sanchez in the 26 will pass him, move up into P5. Now we're just hoping for a caution because then it will, of course, put us up with the front runners. Now passing Eric Jones for 4th. We can't pass anybody now because Elliott's 4 seconds up the road, as we were actually 3 wide with William Sawalich and Bubba Wallace. There's Buescher right there, the best running RFK car in terms of actual raw pace, and oh my goodness, the 17's blown up on our nose. It gets worse. The night goes from bad to worse for RFK. Chris Buescher blows up. He stays on the racetrack like we saw Zilish do earlier. Now no caution again, but hold on, the 17 into turn 1 as we go off into the corner. He's crashing. Caution's gonna fly. Buescher impacts with the 43. Sanchez gets a piece of it, and the 17 crashes, and it's gonna be day over for Chris Buescher. And RFK have brought out 3 cautions as Bell and Larson will elect to remain on the racetrack so far, but by the time we come to the end of the caution, they would pit, and some drivers, including Joey Logano, would elect to take a wave around. However, it's so early in the stage that with just about 20 laps to go, just under in the stage, we're now up into the mix in 3rd. I don't think that wave around is going to quite work out for these guys unless we get a caution within about 10 laps. So they are banking on a quick caution, and this has not been a crash-filled race. We've had 2, I think we've had 2 green flag pit stops, right? So this is going to be an interesting scenario to see how that works out for them. But Bell leads the way, and I'm quickly finding out just the fact that we're lacking pace because Larson's going to blow my doors off into turn 1, and he's going to bring his Hendrick teammate Chase Elliott with him in that Coca-Cola Chevrolet Camaro. Myself and Larson continue to battle in this regular season championship, but unfortunately Larson absolutely dogged us in Darlington, and he's doing it again here in Charlotte. He is going to certainly be in command of this regular season battle at the conclusion of this race unless something goes wrong. But down to 4th we would go, and we would just drop off the face of the earth compared to these guys. We have no pressure from behind in terms of racing for position, but yeah, we're going to see green flag pit stops kicking off right now on lap 25. They needed the caution within about 10 laps. They didn't get the caution, so Logano and others, drivers that took the wave around, all are going to have to pit and basically screw themselves by doing it. Ryan Blaney filling up my rear view mirror. I believe he's in position right now. Yes, he is. Blaney is in position to get the free pass. We know that 12 car is quick, so that is going to be big for him. Chandler Smith was in one of the wave arounds. He's down to 33rd as I am struggling here late in this stage, just hanging on. We are way off of what the 20, the 5, and the 9 are doing right now in stage 3. This would be the final stage, of course, in a normal race, but we have one more stage to come following. 4 stages, and it's being discussed actually by NASCAR to have 4 stages in the championship finale race as well, which would be an interesting implementation to that championship race. Final lap in stage 3. We just rode around, couldn't really do anything. Larson and Bell are actually side by side behind, a lap down just about. Todd Gilliland on this final lap for the stage win. Bell on the outside, Larson on the inside. Bell's won the first 2 stages. Can he go 3 for 3? Wheel to wheel, drag racing down the front straightaway to the line. It's going to be the 20 of Bell, just barely getting Larson. And Larson's been frustratingly close all night. He's had probably the quickest car, but when it comes down to the end of the stages, it's a 20 of Bell who's capitalizing. Christopher Bell, 3 stage wins, 3 playoff points, maximum points, 30 so far to his name, and he looks to extend it going into the final stage and wants to put himself into the playoffs. Free pass will in fact go to Ryan Blaney. We do make some adjustments with tire pressures and whatnot because clearly we're lacking pace compared to those front 3. We're going to have to get creative as we do gain 1 spot in the pits, and now 9 cars on the lead lap. Byron currently in position for the free pass. 1 stage to go. 33 laps of racing. Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, certainly the class of the field. Elliott's a close third, but I don't think he's quite got enough to battle these two when it comes to the long run. We know we don't have enough as well. As we roll through 1 and 2, we're going to have to hope for maybe a caution and maybe an opportunity to get off strategy, as we know if we do get off strategy, we're not going to lose very much because we're going to still be top 10 due to the fact that there's so many cars a lap down. Larson's speed coming into play, and so was Elliott, who would go around my outside, and I would lose so much time so quick to these guys. I just don't have enough for them, but we have no pressure currently from behind. Once another caution comes out, it's going to be game on because Ryan Blaney's going to join the mix, and we know he's going to be a threat before this race is over. But you never know, this could go green to the end here now as we cross the stripe. Caution is out with 29 laps to go, and I actually couldn't find the caution in the replay, so you guys don't get to see this one. But Chastain will get the free pass as I decide this is where we're going to get off cycle. We're going to pit, take 4 tires because we're only going to go down to 9th. I don't have the speed on the same strategy to beat Larson, Bell, Elliott. So we're going to do something like this to try and use an extra 3% tire wear or so to make the difference and hopefully have enough pace to fight with them and maybe even outrun them. With 26 laps to go, nobody can make it to the end of this race, but if it can stay green long enough to get the green flag pit stops, we can really utilize this tire advantage and hopefully run away and stretch out a gap, and who knows, maybe change the future of this race and put ourselves in position to win a second crown jewel of the season and get our first Coke 600 win that we've been chasing for now 4 seasons. It's Christopher Bell leading over Elliott and Larson. How about Nick Sanchez? Of course, had that just really fortunate caution really benefit him because he did not have a lot of speed, but we would blow by all those guys. Ryan Blaney was up here just behind myself in 5th, but you can see we're putting these tires to work. We are not being left in the dust by the 20, the 9, or the 5. Larson down into 3rd, and we're right to the back of that Wawa red Chevrolet Camaro as we continue to follow him as we exit turn 2, now through turn 3, lap 118, just over 20 to go, and here we go, leaning on the door of the 5. Now we had a bit of a run-in with him, of course, in Road America, if you guys remember that one. That was our first run-in I think we've really ever had with Kyle Larson now, but Elliott to the inside of Bell, looking for his second win on the season. Larson looking for his second win. I'm looking for my 3rd. Bell looking for his first, as we'll now cross him over, take a 3 wide for the lead into turn 1 in the Coke 600. Now we slide up the racetrack. Bell gets clear. Here comes Kyle Larson, contact with the 5. We lean on the 9. We throttle up. We door the 9 into the outside wall. Let him know I did not want that to happen. I'm so sorry. We put the 9 in the wall. Honestly, that was 100% my fault. I kind of came down on the 5. It washed me up into the 9, and I never really lifted. I stayed full throttle, to be completely honest. I wasn't lifting at that point now, and myself and Elliott go up into the outside wall. Elliott certainly not going to be happy with that now as we clear our teammate of Bell Larson to the point, but hold on. We continue to focus in on our race. We have that big moment with the 9. We don't care. We're trying to win a race. We're trying to win a crown jewel. Coca-Cola 600, 19 laps to go, and here we go, edging the 5 into turn 1, side by side. Larson gonna hang on our door now as we wash up the track a little bit again. We continue wheel to wheel, but we clear him through 3 and 4 and bring Bell, our teammate, with us to the lead of the Coca-Cola 600, hoping it stays green to green flag pit stops. That would really benefit us now. Lap 123, and Bell, though, is continuing to maintain with us our tire advantage, already disappearing now as the 11 of Corey Heim is slow, smoke pouring out of the back of that 11. Caution will fly. NASCAR finally on top of things when it comes to an engine failure. Ty Gibbs will get the free pass. Everybody pitting, and it's going to be 4 tires, and unfortunately this eliminates our advantage. So we're going to be leading But now Bell, Larson, Elliott, I expect them to all be all over top of us as we get ready to go back racing here. The green flag, it's back out. It's 14 laps to go in this Coke 600. Do we have anything now? We've been close here before in the Coke 600, but I just don't see us on the same strategy, the same tires. It's the 20, the 5, and the 9. I just don't see us having enough. But look at the restart. We leave them in the dust. Bell drops back. Larson through into second now as he's looking for redemption after that Darlington miss of a victory now. That went to Chase Briscoe instead. We cover off the 5 into turn 3, but can we hold him off? That's the question. We now maintain the lead, but we wash up at a 4. Here comes Larson for the lead down this front straightaway. Ryan Blaney joining the mix. Larson leads at the stripe, 13 to go. I have absolutely nothing for that number 5. He breezes past into turn 1, and Bell drops down to 4th. Here comes Ryan Blaney. I can't do anything. These guys are just simply quicker as we exit turn 2, and they're probably all going to get past us, these 3 guys on the outside. Here comes Bell now to the inside. He passes us with 12 laps to go. Elliott eventually right on us on lap 130, looking for the position now, and here he goes to the inside, leaning on us a little bit. Elliott not leaving a lot of room as I put myself into the outside wall. We drop down to 5th place, and that's all I can do now. We need a caution again to try and allow us to do something creative, and we're going to get that caution. Zane Smith for Front Row Motorsports goes around, blows the rear tire. Caution is out.
Okay, we're going to pit here. It's our only chance to win.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Just whatever it takes to win this race, we got to try it. If we didn't have a win yet this season, we wouldn't do this. We'd be points racing, but we've won 2 races. We have this ability to do that. Shane Van Gisbergen in free pass in P12. Logano has never really been able to rebound after going a lap down. He's had a pretty rough night since then. We're back racing. Now the difference is we have to pass some quicker cars than we passed earlier. So we got to pass the 54. We have to pass the 1. We have to pass the 12. We take a 3 wide into turn number 1. But this is, like I said, it's going to be a lot more difficult here at the end of this race. But Bell with a poor restart. Larson leads the way coming to 6 laps to go. We're up the inside here, leaning on the door of Eric Jones, actually using him up. Here comes Kyle Busch, 3 wide in the middle. Busch not on the lead lap now. What could have been for him? He had a top 5 car for sure tonight now, and he's not even, I don't think, going to get a top 10. No, he will not for sure. As Briscoe slow on our nose, and we're struggling in the traffic. Larson leads. It's now Blaney in second, Elliott in third, and Bell in fourth. As long as Bell's in fourth, I think Larson pretty well has this exactly where he needs it now. As we continue on into turn 1 now to the back of Chastain on the exit of turn 2, looking to the inside of the number 1 Busch Light Honda Civic for Trackhouse Racing as they continue to reap the rewards of switching to Honda. It's been a solid season for Trackhouse. Only 1 driver has won. That's Kyle Busch with 2 wins, but they have been a consistent team now. Larson leads away as we're trying to chase down these cars in front. We need another caution if we want a chance to win with 3 laps to go. Now coming to 2 to go. Bell up into third, passing Blaney, looking to the inside of the 9, trying to get second, but Larson's gap increases as we run these guys down with our tire advantage. But it's not going to be enough to be able to go run down Kyle Larson, but maybe second is in the cards as we reel in the 12. 1 lap to go. White flag in the air. Kyle Larson looking for redemption from Darlington, and he will extend the championship lead in the regular season battle over myself. But we pass the 12, and in the process we clear the 9 out of turn 2. We'll get 1 shot at the 20, but Larson has a large lead. He had frustration all night long. Bell won the first 3 stages while Larson led so many laps, came so close but couldn't win any of the stages. But it doesn't matter. Out of turn 4, most importantly, a race win. It will go to Kyle Larson, his 2nd win on the season over Christopher Bell, myself, Elliott, and Blaney, the top 5. What a drive, what a race for Kyle Larson, who will pick up some extra playoff points with that victory. And he will, like I said, take over the regular season championship lead. We'll look at the finishing order there with Ty Gibbs, Chastain, Briscoe, Jones, and Nick Sanchez rounding out the top 10. SVG, Jesse Love, the final couple of cars on the lead lap. Busch being the first car a lap down. Logano ends up P15, Carruth in P16, which is a solid run for him. So Wallish continues an impressive rookie season in P20. Looking at the rest of the grid, the best RFK driver outside of Briscoe was Kozlowski, who ends up P21. Haley in 22nd, of course, Buescher with the DNF. Tyler Reddick had top 10 speed. He went for the wave around, and he certainly pays the price, ends up in 30th place there. Really rough effort for him as we'll look at the playoff grid. So Right now, Tyler Reddick is the first car out of the playoffs, but due to Chris Buescher's issues, he's only out by 5 points, and it's really close, basically from Ty Gibbs through to Tyler Reddick. Those guys are all so close in this playoff battle right now, but we could still see some new winners outside of the playoffs. In the regular season battle, on the other hand, Kyle Larson now nearly 20 points in front of myself, Ryan and Blaney in third position. Briscoe's been making some gains, but loses a little bit here, but still maintains P7 in the regular season championship. That's going to do it for me. Next episode, we return to some traditional NASCAR short track racing. Martinsville, it's going to get physical. Guys going to be leaning on each other. It's going to be an exciting one, a track where, of course, we won our first race of our Cup Series career. That's going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.